Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Wednesday, July 10th, 2024. I'm Reverend Dr. Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral. Faith and religion can be complicated for the LGBTQ+ community. Surveys show that evangelical faith is the justification for the greatest attacks on the LGBTQ+ community.
I am Reverend Kevin Tisdall, the Minister of Education. The Queer God Squad is going to explore our religious community. Let's explore the big news of the day and what it means to you.
I am Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, the Minister of Connections. This is live, and then we are available on demand. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform and social media.
At Sunshine Cathedral, we're here to tell you that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Reddit queer community asks, is being child-free a sin? The subreddit group OpenChristian recently sparked a lively discussion with a post titled, Is being child-free a sin? The question prompted a range of responses. One notable comment highlighted, Christ never had children, so it can't be. We at Sunshine Cathedral and at Queer God Squad believe that whatever, or whether to have children or not, and how you have them, if you have them, blended families, surrogacy, medical insemination, adoption, natural childbirth, fostering, etc. It's a personal decision that should be respected. Divine love encompasses all choices that are made with integrity and compassion. Our church stands for bodily autonomy, personal agency, and freedom of choice. Children are a blessing, not a requirement. I was sort of stunned by the question. It just never occurred to me that it would occur to anyone that it was wrong not to have children, especially since some people, it's just not even an option. I had two great aunts that would have they would have been great moms, and just wasn't in the cards. And but I never heard them say they were afraid they had done anything wrong. So anyway, this question, but then I thought, well, you know, it used to be, I'm not up on my Mormonism these days, but it used to be really a key value in Latter-day Saint theology that one of a woman's roles on the planet was to have children. Like that's how she got her joy, was being a wife and a mother, and the more kids, the better. And I hope that's maybe dialed back a little bit. I don't know. But so maybe someone came from a background like that.
Right.
And is late having children and worried about it. I don't know. But I wonder also where the belief came from that you had to have kids. And the only thing I could think of is maybe the story of Onan. Tamar is Onan's wife. He is her second husband. She was married to his brother Er, and he died. And then because of the levirate marriage custom, she, being childless, would have married the next available male relative, and that was younger brother Onan. And then once you do that, your first child is considered the late husband's. So the brother or the cousin or whoever it is actually a surrogate for the dead guy, for the first child. And Onan didn't want to be a surrogate. he didn't want to have somebody else's kid. And so now, don't try this at home. This is actually not effective birth control, or reliable birth control, but he would coitus interruptus. He would not, you know what I mean? And so he would spill his seed, the Bible said. And so not fulfilling the levirate expectations, levirate marriage where you marry the relative to have the dead relative's kid. And now he's punished with death. If these are even real people, what is likely is that he had whatever disease his brother had. They just both died of the same thing, but whatever. And then Tamar has to sort of go undercover as a prostitute, seduce her father-in-law, and you know all that. It's a crazy soap opera story. But I'm wondering if that's it. That in the old, super like way back when, certainly before the 1700s, people thought that life came from semen. And it was basically a man pouring baby batter into the female oven. And it would take 9 months to bake this baby loaf. And that's probably where the term bun in the oven comes from. And even the gods, that's how they behaved. The sky gods would ejaculate onto or into the earth mother, the earth goddess, when that's what the rain was. And then the earth mother would give birth to stalks of corn and cotton and wheat and rice. And so that's just the way it was understood, is that the man gave the good stuff, and the good stuff is what it all was. And the woman was just, it was just an incubator. And so if you, coitus interruptus, masturbation, anything that would prevent child, that was an issue. Now, why was it an issue? Because the community that these stories come from were always a minority. And they were a minority in a small area that was frequently conquered, invaded, occupied. Right. And so they needed numbers to survive. They needed numbers. And so it was very important that they have kids. I don't know that reasoning holds if we're not in that area, we're not in that time, we're not in that community, and we're in a very, very populated earth. Yes. And so, we do still have enough resources, but we don't share them equitably. And so there, we've got so many people. There are people hungry. There are people who can't get medical care. There are people who don't have sufficient housing. We've got plenty of people. And we've got more people in need than people willing to take care of them even. So I don't think the mandate to have kids, it doesn't land on us the same way. So I think in the 21st century, we have agency, we think independently, we try to plan out our own lives, and that a story written really thousands of years ago is probably not a good enough reason to do or not do anything.
I never had kids. I like kids.
Yep.
Kids are great. To my mind, kids are great for about an hour.
Yeah.
There you go.
I just truly never wanted children. And so I never had children. Now, does that make me a bad person or sinful in any way? I don't think so. I don't think at all. I made my life choices. I'm very happy with my life choices. If somebody thinks maybe that's selfish, that's kind of on them.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's not on me. I like my life. I like my life childless. I don't really feel any burning desire to contribute to an already overpopulated world, and I just never saw children in my future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to you share those Bible stories, and I'm just wondering if the states that are now mandating that the Bible be taught in schools, are they going to pick up on some of those sacred texts? But as far as...
Yes, coitus interruptus. That's what you're expecting from the Bible.
Yeah.
But it's the story.
Yes,
yeah, and
it's
there
in
are
there.
a couple others that are going around on the internet right now that would give people pause. Anyway,
Yeah.
Her lovers were like donkeys.
Yes. and the discharge was like rivers flowing or whatever. But I don't understand why anyone would, in this world, believe that their life was in some way incomplete if they did not have children in their house. There are so many different ways that we can contribute to the world. There's so many different things that we can do. If we have a desire to be around children, there are so many opportunities. We can volunteer. We can visit relatives and give them a break every now and again, because raising children, it can be hellacious. And it is time-consuming and oftentimes painful. So if you are childless by choice, or if you're childless simply because
you are,
reason,
right.
If you don't have a child in your house, there are children next door that if you so desire, you can help your neighbors raise that child. People beat up on Hillary Clinton when she started talking about it takes a village to raise a child. It really does.
Yes.
Right.
And I think that the way our society is going is showing us that we need to get back to that concept that we are all responsible for each and every one of us. And if we can help bring a child to a better place, then we do have that responsibility.
Right.
So you don't have to have children.
No.
Yeah, you don't have to.
No. There's so many children that are available for adoption.
Yes.
If the person wants a child in their life and it just doesn't appear to be happening, volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of people that could use children, that could use role models, that really need that kind of influence in their lives. So there's a lot of ways to have children, but not maybe physically have them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've certainly helped nieces and nephews and grandnieces and grandnephews, and financially, and then when dads and granddads are not around anymore, stepping into those roles or whatever, we have a recycled kid.
I'm sure you'll like to hear that phrase,
which is my absolute heart. And so yeah, there's lots of ways to have a family. You can't get it wrong. And sometimes, and maybe the people say you need to have kids, you should have kids. They might be in the same camp of the people who also say you can't prevent or terminate a pregnancy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't have kids because they weren't allowed to have a necessary abortion.
Right.
And now there's damage.
Yes.
From the medical salvation would have been an abortion. They weren't allowed it, or they weren't allowed it in time. And now they can't have kids at all.
Yep.
So this idea of other people or other species sort of controlling your body and your family and your desires and your future, it just doesn't work out well.
No.
Do you?
Exactly.
Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and discuss what our LGBTQ plus community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's largest progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together, and we are all in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.